morning, Colonel.
Commissioners, good morning, Chair.
Commissioners, just to place on record, I learned this morning from the Colonel that the docket close to us, which we've been working off from yesterday, is incomplete. So it transpires that there are some documents we did not get, and the explanation for that is that the actual docket is actually in two parts. We seem to have been finished with the one part. So we are running copies of what has since been provided to us, which is the second part of the docket, and we will be updating your files accordingly. I do not know the extent to which the Colonel would like to refer to that second part of the docket, which we currently don't have. But I suggest that perhaps we proceed and we'll see where we get. Should we be confronted with that situation before the second part of the docket is finished to all of you, we will either stand the issue down or we'll find a way to manage it. Colonel, would that work for you, that approach?
That will work, I think, Chair, because one of the documents that you have is the main affidavit of myself in that second bundle that came at the end of the bundle. So I may make reference to it at a later stage as you speak. That will be guided by that, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe I wasn't correct in what I communicated to the commissioners. We might be missing, you say, some chunks within the docket. Because if we have the last one that I referred to, I had it, I think, as A32 in my files, which is what the commissioners have. You want to refer to that. You are suggesting, if I understand, that we are missing. You explained that they go up to A36. And I thought that if our version goes up to A32, we therefore are missing 33 to 36. But you seem to suggest that there is more, or what I thought was missing, in fact, is in the file. So are you able to shed light exactly on what we are missing? It's okay. So it's all right. I paused. It's my mistake.
I take care of the Chair's word yesterday for the transcript, so I pull back. You have A32. I think that is the main affidavit. So
yes.
The rest up to A36. We can deal with as we go.
You won't be needing them at least until tea time?
Not necessary, unless something comes to the fore from your line of question, then we can go there. But I think you have A32 and A19.
The reference.
Yes.
How many affidavits do you have in the docket?
Just before you itemize them, I too am interested to know what A32, for what purpose A32 was deposed to.
Can I speak?
You do explain 19, but and then A32?
A32 is what we call an anchor affidavit.
Anchor
affidavit.
Yes.
Yes. It contains the whole scenario of everything. From start up until the.
And why would you have to depose to an anchor affidavit? For what purpose would you ordinarily do that?
It gives the whole start of how of everything, what we did, the investigation up until the time that it finishes off there, where we go for the.
And for whose consumption is it intended?
It's for the court.
Oh. Okay.
When I sorry, Chair. When I go and testify, okay, I will be running from my anchor affidavit, okay, because there's no real affidavit for myself per se, like how you would have an A1 affidavit in the docket. Okay. So that's why us as investigators, we call it an anchor affidavit.
Okay, so it's intended for court.
Yes, it's intended for court. It is for court. All right. All the A bundles from A1 to A36 is intended for court.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Colonel, just then to clarify, this morning I was, in light of the recap I gave, I wanted us to deal with the timeline, basically to look at the chronology of events from the from the moment a decision was taken to investigate up until the arrests were effected. I wanted to look at that timeline. Now my question is, the affidavit that you specifically referred to, is it relevant for that purpose?
Yes.
Can I try and work through the chronology as I have it based on that part of the docket that we had received? And then we will see whether it's necessary to find this second affidavit you reference. I propose that we start and then we see how far we can go without the affidavit for the moment.
We can, Chair, but when you look at my affidavit that I'm talking about, it starts with factual background.
Okay.
Gives the introduction and then it starts with the factual background of the flow of events.
That's fine. Chair, may I propose a 5-minute stand down just to sort out this affidavit? If we must run copies, at least it's before the Colonel, he then is able to give this chronology of events based on his own document.
Closing at court. And then we had a second disclosure. So when we copied the bundles for the evidence leader counsel, we copied the first one. And then when I was looking into it, I see, but it's only up to 827 when there's an 836. So that's when I sent all the documents last night.
Thank you. Understood. We have it now. So at least we have everything before us that would assist in determining the chronology of events. So I propose that we follow my chronology. You keep that affidavit to the side, and to the extent that you conclude that I have either skipped an important step in my chronology, which is reflected in this affidavit, you will reference the affidavit and then we shall include it. Would that work as an approach? With that particular paragraph or page that you would like us to take consideration of, and we will slot it in the chronology. Would that work as an approach?
Yes, Counsel, I will point it out to you.
Yes.
The importance of it is that it gives it in chronological order, the factual background, how it started.
Okay, then perhaps let's do it how it best works for you. I'm just quickly flipping through it to see the dates. You recall, we start with a date sometime in December of 2024. That's my start point. It would have been the 27th of November, 2024, which is the date of the Section 27 affidavit. But you didn't see that one. You reference a decision made by the Case Evaluation Committee, which you say is in December 2024. So for the record, that's what we have, December, and that's my start date.
Yes.
So without going into the detail of the facts justifying the investigation, let's work through this affidavit and highlight the key dates that are important that you want the commissioners to have regard to. And I'll try and slot them into my timeline as we speak. Then we'll deal with my chronology of events. I'm happy to give you a first shot at this.
Thank you.
I remember that we are not dealing with who did what and when. We're just looking at the key dates, what happened on what date that is reflected on this document.
Thank you. I don't want to jump a step. Once they are satisfied that they have sufficient, they will start with a draft charge sheet, they will start with a memo, and then they will present that to the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, who's responsible for that leg or team. they will have to convince him to say, look, this is what we have. When he looks at it and he says, no, okay, fine, it's enough here to move forward to the next level. So he has to now take everything with the charge sheet and present it before management and the head of the office. So the head of the office has a look at the charges, what is there, and they give the go-ahead to say, okay, yes, we can go ahead. All right. So I actually jumped into the full-blown investigation. The first is the preliminary, where it's submitted to the prosecutors, presented to the deputy director, and then presented to management, and they are satisfied, yes, this should go into a full-blown investigation. Then a full-blown investigation is authorized under Section 28(1). So it comes back again, where we now build a case docket, and then the draft charge sheet is done, the presentation to management and the head of the office, where after that a consultation note is done to the director of public prosecutions in that particular region to prosecute the matter. That director of prosecution can say, yes, you can proceed, she's satisfied, or he's satisfied, you can prosecute the matter and go forward. So once that is done, then we have to, because of the nature of the offense, when it comes to a Schedule 5 offense or more serious, we prepare bail affidavits. We got the bail affidavits, we got the charge sheets, then the next step is the making arrangements for the court. The applications for the J50s are done. You go to the magistrate, you present your affidavit to the magistrate, and it's scrutinized there. And obviously sometimes they are not satisfied with it. They say that they're not satisfied with it, so you have to go back and rectify whatever queries they have. At the end of the day, the warrants are issued. Once the warrants are issued, a planning is done. And in most cases that what we do, Chair, Commissioners, we try to do whatever we do in a professional way. Although we have a warrant of arrest, we don't go to your home, phone you, please come with your attorney, your legal representative, I have a warrant for you. Please come to the police station with your legal representative where the warrant is executed and processed, and thereafter the court process. So that is the flow process of my explanation, which I tried to explain, but I had some difficulty with it. I don't want to jump a step. Once they are satisfied that they have sufficient, they will start with a draft charge sheet, they will start with a memo, and then they will present that to the Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, who's responsible for that leg or team. They will have to convince him to say, look, this is what we have. When he looks at it and he says, no, okay, fine, it's enough here to move forward to the next level. So he has to now take everything with the charge sheet and present it before management and the head of the office. So the head of the office has a look at the charge.
Different questions. So here, for example, in the Mukwele matter, you've got charges of fraud, for example. You would not have had any input into whether what you have gathered in your investigation, whether preliminary or the main investigation, whether it supports that charge of fraud. You have no input in that.
From the investigation and what evidence we gather, for example, where you can see fraud, when we're presenting your investigation, what we found here misrepresentation, fraud, in your investigation, because it shows on your investigation and your statements, the crime is there. It's for them to see whether there is enough for that alleged crime to stand, and for them to put that in the charge. But where I'm not sure this is going to answer your question, Commissioner Baloy, is that do we influence the prosecutor to say, no, look here, this is fraud, this is corruption? No, we don't have control over that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioners. Do you know the date on which these dockets were opened in October?
I'm not too sure offhand, but I can just maybe try and check it on.
Okay, maybe let me ask you a different question. Do you have the dockets Because the docket would tell us, it has a date.
The physical docket.
Do you have
Yes.
copies of the dockets
Yes.
in the main docket?
Yes.
The docket you disclosed to us?
No, that docket was not disclosed to you.
Okay.
The original dockets that were opened by Mr. Adams has not been disclosed to you.
Okay. So I did think that I couldn't locate them in what was disclosed to us. So I propose another way of trying to determine the date, because that date becomes important. You have by your feet another file. It's Mkwanazi annexures. And we are looking for MK15 in Mkwanazi annexures. These are the annexures to General Mkwanazi's statement to the commission. Is a report by Lieutenant General Jacobs, who is the Divisional Commissioner Inspectorate. If you go to page 271, 270, that's where it starts, that's the cover page, and at 271, at the bottom, it gives his designation. This report you'll see is dated the 30th of July 2025.
That's correct.
But this report records everything according to General Jacobs that transpired from the moment they, as the inspectorate, became aware of the issues that are referenced in their section 27, particularly the dockets opened in Cape Town. Yes, please, go ahead.
Council Chair, Commissioners, when I looked at the documents I think you sent yesterday, additional MK, whatever, on that I've only have 2 pages. I do not have the remaining part of it.
No, they were not sent yesterday. I didn't send any documents yesterday.
There were documents.
I think they were provided to you
updated documents
on Friday, together with the exhibit bundle given to you on Friday.
There was an email that came with updated documents and it said MK, but I'll try and
Okay,
yeah.
let's not unduly detain ourselves. I'll accept that you only got 2 documents,
Yes.
2 pages
Yes.
of a bigger document. I don't know how that transpired. We will see October. You confirm that?
I confirm.
Then he continues, however, I've also been notified that the Gauteng Police Department has followed the same modus operandi as the Western Cape PC and is interfering in the investigative process. I apologize. I urgently and humbly ask the minister to intervene and ensure the integrity of the investigative process is maintained to ensure a fair and just outcome. So that's our next date. First is the 29th of October, when they are opened in Cape Town. The next is that date yet to be determined in October, when they are opened in Orlando. And the 1st of November is a complaint to the minister regarding interference or interception of both sets of dockets. Now, if you stay on page 283, the email above is now an email from Nkabinde CM. When General Mkwanazi testified, he advised that Nkabinde CM is the chief of staff in the minister's office. And you see that is dated 1 November 2024, 0904. And that is addressed to Major General Sibula and Brigadier Litoko. Subject line is charges laid by NCC. And Mr. Nkabinde writes as follows. I read the body of the email, second paragraph. The ministry has received this complaint from the Member of Parliament. In order for the ministry to respond accordingly, please furnish this office with a report in responding to this complaint and the details of the investigating officer who was assigned to investigate these cases. Your report is expected on Monday, 4th November 2024 at 1500 hours. So the Office of the Minister immediately acts upon this and directs the complaint to be dealt with, and directs that complaint to Major General Sebola and Litoko. We need not concern ourselves about who they are, but that's what the email tells us. Then if we go back to page 282, at the bottom is now an email from somebody within SAPS. It's dated still the 1st of November 2024 at 11:45. And it is addressed to complaints nodal point, copying the Divisional Commissioner Inspectorate and a few others. And in this particular communication overleaf, before we go over, at the bottom of 282, this person informs, kindly see the email below for your urgent attention, and important, feedback must reach the Office of the National Commissioner on Monday, 1200, and report to the Office of the Minister by Monday, the 4th November 2024 at 1500. Then still staying at page 282, at the top, it's now 11:59, about 12. This is from the National Inspectorate to a few other people, and it reads, please find email from Lieutenant Colonel Sitati for urgent attention as directed by the National Commissioner. After receiving the email, it was followed by a call to humbly request for feedback to be submitted on or before 1200 on Monday, 4th of November 2024. You see that? Then lastly, at page 281, it's an email from one of the recipients of the previous email I just dealt with, addressed to other members of SAPS, and it would appear in particular to Colonel Van Rooyen, and reads, please ensure that this is urgently registered into N16 of 2017 VS2. Don't have to worry ourselves about that. Further down it reads, please take note and deal with this immediately. Engage the province directly, please. Also note the deadline set for Monday, 4th of November. So our next date is this flurry of activity on the 1st of November, triggered by Honorable Adams's complaint to the minister at 8 in the morning. So by 1 o'clock, I will then, it then records that it is being acted upon, and eventually by I don't know if it's appropriate to call them the complaints nodal, but the point where it was referred to as a complaint and with an urgent request to deal with, to enable the original person to whom the complaint was addressed from the minister's office to respond to the minister by the 4th of November.
A detail,
Yes.
just in case it becomes relevant, is also to note that the 1st of November, according to these messages, was a Friday.
Yes, I confirm it was a Friday.
And this activity was supposed to be reported on the Monday.
On Monday. And in fact, that is confirmed, and the email at page 282 from Lieutenant Colonel Bapela, who specifically requests that the report be provided by 1200 on Monday, 4th of November. So that should take care of that. Thank you so much. So the next day then, I have nothing between the 1st of November being a weekend and the 4th. My next date would be the 4th of November. We've established that's a due date for the report. Then the 4th of October, then the second signature I was going to go to is the signature at the bottom of the same page. And I say it seems to have gone to General Sibia, who signs it on the 5th of November, 2025, with no comments. And then the third signature is once again overleaf at page 288 And that appears to be the signature of the Minister of Police, E.S. Mkhunu, MP, and it's dated 8 November 2024.
Advocate Cele, my point was that the Minister's office appears to get this report on the 5th. And we see that from the date stamp, page 285.
I'm with you. Thank you, Commissioner.
So they missed that 4 November deadline by a day.
Indeed.
And then on the 5th, the stamp suggests that's when the Minister's office received it.
I misunderstood you. I thought it was the date on which Major General Dladla signed, so I was reading the vote. I completely agree with you. It would appear then that after General Sibia had signed, it then presumably got to the Minister's office where it bears the receipt stamp of 5th November 2024. And then the Minister's final stamp, final signature at page 288 on the 8th of November 2024. Now, where the Minister signs, there is a space for comments, but he doesn't seem to have made any comments. Now, whether or not the Minister granted the request of an extension, I don't know. I can't tell from this batch of documents. So I then look for my next date. And my next date would be the 11th of November. But that one now I find in a different document, and is the second annexure that you were supposed to have been given, together with MK15, but unfortunately we're not. It's MK16 in General Mkwanazi's annexure bundles. And that MK16 is a 2-page document, mercifully. And it's the other document you had opportunity to consider. Now, this document it's page 310 of MK15. This document is, if we go to the second page of that, second page of that, it's signed Mtokozi Singabinde, Chief of Staff, Ministry of Police, and it's dated 11 November 2024. Now, when we go to the first page of this particular document, it's addressed, then the second signature I was going to go to is the signature at the bottom of the same page. And I say it seems to have gone to General Sibia, who signs it on the 5th of November 2025 with no comments. And then the third signature is once again overleaf at page 288. And that appears to be the signature of the Minister of Police, E.S. Mkhunu, MP, and it's dated 8 November 2024.
Advocate Cele, my point was that the Minister's office appears to get this report on the 5th. And we see that from the date stamp, page 285.
I'm with you. Thank you, Commissioner.
So they missed that 4 November deadline by a day.
Indeed.
And then on the 5th, the stamp suggests that's when the Minister's office received it.
I misunderstood you. I thought it was the date on which Major General Dladla signed, so I was reading the vote. I completely agree with you. It would appear then that after General Sibia had signed, it then presumably got to the Minister's office where it bears the receipt stamp of 5th November 2024. And then the Minister's final stamp, final signature at page 288 on the 8th of November 2024. Now, where the Minister signs, there is a space for comments, but he doesn't seem to have made any comments. Now, whether or not the Minister granted the request of an extension, I don't know. I can't tell from this batch of documents. So I then look for my next date. And my next date would be the 11th of November. But that one now I find in a different document, and is the second annexure that you were supposed to have been given, together with MK15, but unfortunately we're not. It's MK16 in General Mkwanazi's annexure bundles. And that MK16 is a 2-page document, mercifully. And it's the other document you had opportunity to consider. Now, this document it's page 310, an extra MK 15, we go to page 285. And it starts at 285, this particular document, but if we jump to 287, we'll see that it is a report by Major General, Acting Divisional Commissioner, Inspectorate, NM Dada, dated 4th of November 2024. It's a 3-page document, and then if we go back then to page 285, where it starts, it's an information note directed to the minister. It provides a purpose, the background, the background is as we have discussed. We know the opening of the 2 sets of dockets. Then there's a discussion, and then it deals with the nature of the complaints in the dockets. Now, if we stay at page 286, it states that at 3.1.1, the criminal allegations in the 6 cases which were opened are leveled against Generals Khumalo, Lushaba, Madondo, and Brigadier Ncube, and are centered on 4 specific matters, namely abuse of Secret Service account 1, 2, cover-up of criminal incident linked to Valeria CAS number, it's provided, and there's a note that the docket is locked in a safe at the police station and access thereto will only be available from 11 November 24. Third, failure to address Major General Madondo's results of the polygraph examination, wherein 2 incidents of tax evasion were uncovered. And lastly, practices of nepotism. So that's his summary, the author's summary of the contents of those dockets. The most important is at 287 for purposes of a timeline. And at the top, under 4, recommendation, and at 4.1, it reads, this office recommends that an extension of 10 working days is provided in order for the following to be conducted, whereafter a comprehensive report can be provided. 1, interview the complainant and obtain a detailed affidavit. 2, perusal of all criminal dockets, including Valeria CAS number provided. 3, determine if any other government department is investigating the same allegations. So this is submitted on the 4th of November to the minister. If you turn, then it's submitted by Major General Dada, and still at 287, you'll see that it's counted.
It's like, just for accuracy, it's the 5th, not the 4th. It's submitted on the 5th of November. You see that because General Sibia signs it on the 5th on 287, bottom of that page.
Yes, Commissioner, I was saying it's signed on the 4th.
Yes.
So Major General
on the 5th.
Dada on the 4th,
yes,
dates it, the gist of the complaints. But I'm interested for our purposes at paragraph 3.3. As part of the protocols to address service complaints, an affidavit is obtained from the complainant. Colonel Phillips of this office was tasked to obtain the affidavit. However, after numerous attempts, it seems as if the complainant is evading the request. Please find Colonel Phillips' affidavit as proof hereof. You can jump then ahead at 292. That appears to be the affidavit of Colonel Phillips. It is what it is. Now, at 292, that's the affidavit of Colonel Phillips. Staying with this particular document, at page 290, it concludes with a recommendation at 4.1 and states, due to the sensitive nature of the allegations which has been being widely announced by the complainant, it is imperative that before any criminal investigation is launched, your office peruse the affidavits to provide a legal opinion on whether the element of a crime exists and to advise on a way forward. And over leaflet 4.2, the author states, if your office is in support of the request, please find the dockets for perusal. So we are now on the 20th. On the 20th, within...
And this is addressed to?
And this is addressed to the Divisional Commission of Legal Services, SAPS, within SAPS. My understanding of this chain of correspondence is the inspectorate is still seized with the complaint and trying to establish facts and to determine the complaint as proffered by Mr. Adams. And for that purpose, at this point, they are now seeking a legal opinion from internally from the SAPS Legal Services Department. So that's where we are at.
Correct.
By now, they have failed, according to Colonel Phillips, to meet with the complainant, being Mr. Adams. And most importantly, before we leave this document, in 3.2, it notes, and I quote, the affidavits in the dockets are basic and in the opinion of this office lack the elements of a crime. The author expresses that view, sends the dockets to legal, also opened a separate case at Langlaagte police station, and that's where he stops. He doesn't say what the Langlaagte case is about. That's as much as we can establish about that one.
So unless there's another Section 27 affidavit, Mr. Nkabinde would have obtained this, which contains a Langlaagte case number. Mr. Nkabinde would have obtained this case number elsewhere other than from an affidavit. I guess it's a question for him to answer.
Yes,
where he got that.
In fact, I think would have to go to the complaint laid by Honorable Adams to Minister Mkunu on the 1st of November at page 283, because he lists them. And he states there that I've opened cases in Western Cape on a number of senior police as per the following case dockets. Then he gives the numbers, he quotes 3. Those are the Cape Town case dockets. Then he says he went to Gauteng, and then he provides 3 dockets. Those we understand are the Orlando dockets. And he doesn't seem to reference the Langlaagte case. So yes, I point this out to confirm that on the documents that we have, when he reported interference with these dockets, Langlaagte was not a part of them, so he would have had to advise Mr. Nkabinde otherwise than in this trail of emails. Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're dealing with the chronology, I don't want to come back to it later because it's at this point that I think this question is relevant. Colonel, I've looked at the description of the cases in the Cape Town dockets and the Orlando. Assist me if I'm wrong. None of the complaints in the Orlando dockets and in the Cape Town dockets had anything to do with the Brigadier Mokwele case.
So can I respond?
Yes.
When you look at the way you will get, like, in one docket, there's 2 or 3 allegations in one. It's mixed up, and then it's like nepotism, and it's in another docket. It's all mixed up. But I'll have to look at the actual docket itself on what you're
Because
saying.
remember, they were opened in October 2024.
Yes, sir.
And there's one about nepotism, but it relates to the other kernels in crime intelligence. That's what the story is. And there's complaints about defeating the ends of justice. That's what the other complaint is about in the dockets. But there was no case over
That short period after that approval.
Oh. So I guess you would have to look at your notes to say definitively You could have been briefed on the 6th, on the 7th, but from the 6th.
That's correct,
Okay,
Councillor.
I think that's fair. Staying with MK15, before we do so, this is where I need your help in the timeline. You are now, the preliminary investigation is approved on the 6th of December. You are briefed 6 or 7 or shortly thereafter.
Yes.
What is the very first step you take once you are briefed? And when?
In the briefing, we get a complete overview,
Yes.
or rather a complete briefing on the investigation, what we need to do, who's going to do what are the scenarios, who's going to do what, and then we start from there. So basically what you're looking at here is that we'll start subpoenaing documents, looking for witnesses, engaging with the complainant. From that's how it will
Okay.
start.
So at this point, you have not called for the dockets themselves at this early stage?
I cannot recall, I'm about sure those dockets were requested in December.
You say you are not sure?
Yeah, I think this is subject to correction.
Yes, of course.
Right, but I know that those dockets were requested because we have them.
Now, do you recall who they were requested from and how? Was it in writing? And if so, is that request part of your docket?
Chair, Council, Commissioners, I don't know in what form they were requested, and if those dockets were requested by another investigating officer who was tasked to get hold of the dockets. So he would have handled getting the dockets from wherever it was, etc. I have no knowledge of that.
And who would be that investigator?
It's investigator Rapesu. Rapesu.
I take it he would have been reporting to you because you are the lead investigator. Did you instruct him or direct that he request the dockets? Or he did so on his own volition?
Remember, as I said, it's not just one investigation, it's a broad investigation. After the broad investigation, there's specifics. So the tasking is given by Chief Perumal to Rapetsu. Go and collect the dockets. That's what it would have said.
Ms. Cele said that A1 statement is sparse on facts. Did you hear that part?
No, I didn't hear that one.
I thought so. I saw you straining your ears.
Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I said. Do you agree with me that it's rather thin on facts, that A1 statement?
The A1 statement of Mr. Adams?
Yes.
It's an allegation.
And I want to know, I'm more interested in how much it assists with establishing facts, and I'm saying it is rather thin in that regard.
It's a fact what he said.
We're talking past one another. We're talking past one another. I'll try again. Let's go to it. I think it's easier. It should be your CJC 377, which is at file 3, starting at page 681. Have you located CJC 377, starting at page 681?
That's correct.
We dealt with it yesterday. It's got the cover page, 2 pages. The actual statement starts at page 683. You recall in dealing with this affidavit, it's a 2-page document. We concluded that the issues are addressed specifically in paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. That's all it tells you. The other paragraphs are either introductory or they give a conclusion by the deponent. So our key paragraphs are paragraphs 2 and 3. And that's all it tells us.
Yes.
And it is on that basis I say, if that's a totality of it, it is rather sparse on facts. It's very thin on facts, this document. Would you agree?
The paragraph 2 and 3.
Yes.
It's when I read it, and as I explained previously, it's an allegation, a serious allegation. And what I see here is an allegation.
Yes.
There's no fact in it.
Yes.
It still has to be investigated.
Yes.
Further. Thank you.
So I'm saying, yes, there are allegations, but those allegations are not based on any stated fact here. There are no facts to support the allegations expressed here.
It's an allegation at that time on the document.
Okay, does it have facts, this document? Sorry, Chair. Cape Town cast number and Valeria, and states that the complainant alleges, quote, none of the people appointed in CI have the necessary skills, qualification, and experience, close quote, and that many of these appointees are said to be associates and relatives of Lieutenant General Khumalo. At 3.9, it furthermore alleges that the Secret Service account was abused by Lieutenant General Khumalo and Major General Lushaba, who failed to pay authentic sources but channeled funds to purchase items such as vehicles for the KwaZulu-Natal Political Task Team. According to the complainant, this task team is a private service to or front for the former Minister of Police General Bheki Cele. 3.10, the complainant does not reveal the identity of the associates and relatives of Lieutenant General Khumalo, who are allegedly appointed improperly. 3.11, no details such as dates, locations, amounts of or proof of payment are provided of the alleged irregular purchases. 3.12, at this stage, the complainant's allegations regarding General Cele are unsubstantiated and amount to no more than the complainant's personal opinion. No evidence or leads are provided to assist or afford an investigation into the allegations. Most importantly, 4, only the complainant's A1 statements are contained in the 6 dockets. No other evidence is contained in the dockets. The lack of location information makes it impossible to determine proper jurisdiction at this stage. Is it fair to assume that he is correct as regards what was in the docket, what he expresses at 4? That's all there was, just the A1 statement and nothing more. Am I correct? Is that what you found as well?
What is being said here is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I have read from 3.1 to 3.12 technically is an analysis of these dockets and their shortcomings.
Just, can I respond?
Yes.
So this is what is in this report, what they say is in there.
Yes.
That as alleged from 3.1, yes.
Yes.
That's in the report. It's more or less what is in the docket.
Yes.
And when you look at the docket, you will find that the appointments of family members is in one docket together with something else, and it's repeated in another docket, as you can see from there, which I said earlier. Continue.
No, I think we agree with each other, but I think that you confirm that you too only found the A1 statements in the respective dockets, and it says no other evidence is contained in the dockets. Is that what you found as well in the dockets? Just the A1 statements. We can skip the rest for purposes until overleaf at page 8, at page 296, paragraph.
So when I look at that now, I take that as a preliminary that this is an allegation that's been made. I need to now go and investigate and confirm what this is, right? Who this particular post or appointments or whatever, further investigation to get more information. So they therefore went about to get the documents, but I do not want to go further. I'm just saying to you that the information on the dockets itself, the initial documents, was the complainant would have to be interviewed again. What are you talking about? So from that, there's a second affidavit that is now taken on this specific regarding this appointment process. But still, there are things that are missing from here that needs verification and investigation. So not on this now, you can go now and take it and just start arresting. You got to look at it, investigate it. Is there something there? And you work from there.
Okay.
Progress from there moving forward. Thank you.
So we have the benefit of the A1 and we know what the A1 states. What I don't have is the benefit of the dockets. So regard being head to the A1 statement and what it tells you, what other extra information did the respective A1 documents in the dockets inform you?
The initial A1 on the docket, I'll just have to call it up just to refresh.
No, we can do that over lunch, but I just wanted a summary of what facts did you glean from those dockets?
The initial docket just talks about General Kumalo, if I can recall, appointing family members and friends in positions at crime intelligence. So that's what it basically, so it was basically, just nothing really there. It needed more information.
Yes.
So when you look at the docket, you needed to take the docket and interview this person. What are you talking about here? Because you are saying different things. I think an incident there, an allegation here. Let's put it into context. Tell me about it.
Okay. I ask this because I'm trying to reconcile it with where the legal department of SAPS ended, considering the same dockets. And for that purpose, I'm still in an extra MK15 at page 293.
290.
293.
293.
This, if we go to 296, you'll see that we've touched on it. It's dated the 11th of December 2024. So this is where the legal department
made. These dockets are scanned, but in some of them, they have allegations. For example, in the one that just let me go back to it.
Yes. We can start at 3.1. That's where an analysis of the respective dockets takes place.
I'll just take you to a generalized one.
Yes.
And that is the docket that was locked up in a safe or whatever, which the inspectorate had, and the Valeria CAS 404. Because it was particularly linked to that docket because it makes an allegation about a cover-up of a case. If they took that docket and they looked at the docket on the Valeria CAS 38, as inspected it, they looked in it, and they would have found discrepancies in it, which would eventually confirm that there was a problem in that docket because affidavits were tampered with in that docket. So let's come back to the other dockets. You have a docket, it is scanned, it has got any information.
Before you go on to other dockets, I think you should speak in much better detail than than what you've done now. What was CAS 04 and what was in the docket and what were the discrepancies that you say the inspectorate should have picked up?
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm just going to go into, I'm looking at page 292.
292, that's, is it Colonel Phillips's affidavit?
Colonel Phillips's report.
Yes.
When you look at Colonel Phillips's report, I'm just going to look. July 2024, it's an allegation. Major General Madondo failed a polygraph examination as the officer was cited for 2 incidents of tax evasion. Brigadier Nube of the Division Crime Intelligence was tasked not
Sorry,
to...
where are you reading?
No, he's reading from page 292, same MK 15, page 292. Then at the top, it's Fayez Phillips stays under oath. That's a affidavit of Colonel Phillips.
Yes, I have the
Yes.
affidavit, and you are reading under CAS 403. I had stopped you because you were talking about CAS 404. And I said to you, tell us more about this CAS 404 that you say the inspectorate, had they looked at that docket, they would have seen that there were discrepancies in that docket, that there was tampering with affidavits. You said CAS 404. So I expect that when we look at 292, you will refer to CAS 404.